different areas or maybe different rooms and so on. Even to visit the cafeteria, they need to swipe their card basically. So you just think about the employees entry and exit data, and now you tell me what kind of analytics you can do, and then what sort of insights you can bring it from this particular data. Let us assume that in this data you have the entry time, you have the entry time, and then you have the exit time, and then you have the employee ID. So these are the three key information that is available in the swiping card data. And with the help of this employee ID, you can also pull some more data from the HR database. You can also collect or retrieve some more data from the HR database. Now let us assume, just imagine this particular scenario, and then you tell me what sort of insights you can bring it from the data, what kind of analytics you can apply. Let me look at the chat window. I hope you can understand my question. So let us assume that you have the swiping card data. Now you are trying to perform some analytics, or your boss is sharing this particular data set to you, and then he or she is asking you to do some sort of analytics, and then you need to bring certain insights from the data. So what sort of insights you can bring it from this data? You just post your comments in the chat window, or you can come to the live chat. Let me see what kind of responses I'm getting from this crowd. Yeah, any insights? What kind of analytics you can do, and then what sort of insights you can also bring it from this data simply by using this swiping card data. Any idea? Entry time and exit time, yes, you can anyway, that is there in the data set. Entry time and exit time is available. So what sort of insights you can bring it from the data? That is my question. Yeah, any other insights? Time management of employees. Okay, very good point. Time management of employees. So how many minutes or maybe how many hours he or she is spending their time in terms of doing the work, or maybe visiting others cabin and so on. So that particular detail can be collected with the help of the entry and exit time data. Timely discipline. Okay. Yeah, any other insights? Any other insights?
Number of hours spent in the time, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You can reveal this information like average duration spent by the employee in the office premises, or it can be anything. Yeah, that is fine. Yeah, very good point. Productiveness of the employees. Okay, good point. Yeah, any other aspects? You just think and let me know. There is no right or wrong answer here. You just let me know like what sort of information you can bring it from this data. Quality of work, I don't know how best you can measure quality of work. It doesn't mean that the employee is sitting in their cabin for longer duration, they are doing a quality work. No, I don't think so. I'm little concerned about this particular answer. I'm not sure about whether you can measure the quality of work being carried out by the employees with the help of this swiping card data. But if there are more distractions, distractions means, yes, you can say that the concentration level of the people is not good. So from this aspect, yes, you can somehow quantify quality of work, Professor Ismail. Yeah, maybe possible. Yeah, any other points? Just think and let me know. Any other points? Please think.
Their movement in different areas in the organization, say suppose if it is cafeteria or if it is a confidential section of a computer room, different areas will be located in the organization. So whenever they use swiping card, information will be going that the employee has gone to that specific place.
Yes, very true, ma'am. Very true. I mean, the movement of the employee can be well quantified with the help of this swiping card data. So, what sort of implication? I mean, are there any implication by, bringing this particular insight from this data? So, what sort of managerial implications you can make at the end of the day?
Security of the data or information.
Okay. Yeah. Any other aspects?
Safety related.
Okay. Then. Yeah. Any other aspects? I mean, any other points? Any other points? Please go a little deeper and then you try to, understand something more about this data. So in the swiping card data, you have employee ID, name, and then their entry time, exit time, and then location of the entry. So all those things are available. And with the help of the employee ID, you can also retrieve some more information from the database basically. So I'm not sure like how best you can do potential appraisal payroll management with the help of the exit and entry data, Professor Talari Sanjay Kumar. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, any other points? Any other points? Okay, so let me, give my views related to this data. So I said that you have the entry time as well as exit time of the employees, entry time and then exit time. Along with that, you have the employee ID. So with the help of the employee ID, you can also retrieve some more information from the employee database, basically HR database. So for example, from the HR database, you are collecting a information called designation, job designation of the employee. So with the help of, by looking at the entry time, exit time, and then the job designation, you will be able to thoroughly understand. Suppose, in general sense, we can classify the entire levels of the management into three: top level, and then middle level, and then lower level. So at what level the people movement is really higher? At what level the people movement is really higher? So that you can understand. Suppose let us assume that you have some three storage building, there only you are trying to manage everything. For example, there are some top level people are sitting in the second floor, and there are some lower level as well as middle level management also sitting in the second floor. In the second floor, the people movement is very high because that's what your swiping card data says. And because of this people movement, the middle level as well as the top level management people concentration is missing. So now what you can do is maybe you can also rearrange your workspaces so that you can minimize the distraction, and so that that may not be impacting their concentration level, especially for the top level people. So through this way also you can implicate this particular result. And then one more implication which you can give here is by simply understanding the people movement, even you can also understand their concentration level. I think somebody has pointed out that particular point in the chat window. That is very much possible. Again, one more caution is simply by looking at the people movement alone, you can't say that they have less concentration level. No, that is not the case. People may be ideally sitting in their office without doing any movement, but even they may not be doing perfect work. So again, that is also there. So these are all the ifs and buts condition in terms of analyzing this particular data. So beyond this, I just said only with respect to this job designation. Even if you have some more information, let us assume that you have their current work experience within the organization. You can also profile the people, like whether suppose if they're new entrants to the company, if their movement is very less, means based on this insight also you can bring some more implication. Suppose if they stay with the company's longer duration but their movement is very high, means Based on this logic only, logic also, you can bring some more insights from this data. So a lot more things can be done with the help of this data. So I just gave this particular example just to understand. So how to analyze the data from different perspectives at different angle basically. So in terms of classifying the entire analytics, you have three types of analytics. One is descriptive, predictive, and then prescriptive analytics. So descriptive analytics is nothing but which use data aggregation and data mining to provide insights into the past and answer what has happened. Suppose if you want to understand what has happened in the past, so with the help of the descriptive analytics, you can do some more thing. So here mainly we are using some of the data mining approaches like association mining and so on. With the help of that, we are trying to understand something more about the past. We are trying to understand more about the past. In predictive analytics, what we are trying to understand is here we are using some of the statistical models, even especially forecasting techniques, in terms of predicting the future, basically, in terms of predicting the future. So that is nothing but predictive analytics. So one of the very big application of using this predictive analytics is who will leave the job in the near future, how many employees are required in terms of acquiring this particular project in the near future, and so on. So this sort of decisions you can take with the help of this predictive analytics. And then prescriptive analytics, which uses optimization and simulation algorithms. In one of the slide, I also, copy pasted some of the optimization and the simulation algorithm, which can be utilized under the prescriptive analytics. We'll have some more discussion about that. So basically, the overall objective of prescriptive analytics is what should we do? For example, we know that these many people are going to leave the company. So what are the precautions? What you can prescribe as a data analytics person in terms of reducing the attrition level of the people. So that is nothing but prescriptive analytics. So for example, you are going to the hospital, a doctor is doing some sort of medical examination. With the help of that, doctor is understanding what was happened in the past. That is nothing but descriptive analytics. And then doctor is predicting the problem. In the within next 5 years or within next 10 years, there is a chance that you may be getting this particular disease or you may be getting this particular problem and so on. That is nothing but prediction. And then after knowing the future events, doctor also giving some prescription. Doctor also giving prescription. Do this, do that, do this. With the help of this particular practices, you can survive even beyond 10 years or maybe beyond 20 years without any effect or maybe without any issues. So that is nothing but prescriptive analytics. So there's a way how you can understand descriptive, predictive, and then prescriptive analytics. So now try to understand what is HR metrics. So in simple sense, Google Dictionary definition says that metric is nothing but a system or standard of measurement. For example, in accounting also, we might have discussed a lot of metrics, a lot of ratios basically. So all those ratios are nothing but metrics basically. We are trying to quantify or we are trying to measure something. So that is nothing but metric. So in simple sense, HR metric, is nothing but, according to this definition, HR metric is nothing but measures of key HRM outcomes classified as efficiency, effectiveness, or impact. And in contrast, Lawler et al. 2004 state HR analytics are not measures but rather represent statistical techniques and experimental approaches that can be used to show the impact of HR activities. So there's nothing but HR analytics basically, and you have a lot of differences between HR analytics as well as HR metric. HR metric is one of the sub component of HR analytics basically, and HR metrics are indicators that enable HR to track and measure performance on different aspects and ultimately predict the future. Basically, the reason why we are trying to measure or why we are trying to quantify certain things in our businesses, we are trying to predict certain future events or we are trying to focus certain things. So for that reason only, we are trying to measure something. So this metric is nothing but quantification basically. Measurement is nothing but quantification. For example, in most of the cases, this is one of the rudimentary example to understand this. For example, how much of the expenditure you are making in terms of recruiting a person. Why you are computing this particular value? Because you can understand overall budget, I mean recruitment budget for the whole year, overall recruitment budget for the organization. You can also propose this budget to the higher level authorities in terms of getting the funding and all. So that's the reason why we are trying to quantify certain things. For example, there are some 6 types of metrics are available according to SHRM, that is Strategic Human Resource Management Society document. According to that particular citation, there are about six metrics are available broadly that can be classified into strategic management metric, workforce planning and staffing metric, talent management metric, total rewards metric, employee relations metric, risk management metrics, and so on. So under strategic management, again you have return analysis, HR management, financial management metric, and so on. Similarly, workforce planning and staffing, you have staffing metric and so on. So like that, you have some more subcomponents also. Now we'll discuss 1 or 2 examples related to HR metrics. For example, here I just proposed a metric that is used to measure HR expenses to revenue ratio. HR expenses to revenue ratio. So this information is useful for fiscal budgeting. Suppose when you are going to do the overall budgeting for your organization, that time you need to understand this particular metric. Basically, you need to generate some value out of this formula. To have this for each fiscal year creates a standard for projected budgeting costs for each year on HR expenses that can be revealed. And HR expenses should include outsourcing expenses also. Formula for computing this particular metric is total HR expenses divided by revenue. We can have a whole day session on HR metrics. Lot more metrics are available, but here I'm not going to discuss all those metrics. Just to open your eyes towards to understand what is HR metrics. Here I'm sharing 2 of the metrics basically. This is one of the metric. And then the second metric is cost per hire. This metric is coming under staffing umbrella. So average cost incurred with an external hire. Suppose if you are going to hire a person from outside of the organization, so what is the cost you are going to incur in terms of recruiting that particular individual? The total cost should include the sum of all direct costs, example, advertising, hiring, events, agencies, search firms, employee referral programs, onboarding and travel for applicants and interviewers incurred in attracting and hiring employees. So all those costs can be included under the cost per hiring umbrella. So the formula for computing this cost per hire is nothing but the total cost related to all external hires divided by number of external hires. For example, in a year, you are going to incur, you are, let us assume that you are going to recruit 100 people, and then the total estimated budget is, let us assume that 1 lakh. Let us assume that 1 lakh rupee. So divided by 100. So you will be able to understand per person, how much of the cost you are going to incur. Per person, how much of the cost you are going to incur. So the reason why we are trying to understand this particular per cost, cost per hire is, let us assume that if your attrition rate is really higher means you can also understand something more about the cost implication with respect to that particular attrition rate. That is one of the implication. Second implication is for doing the overall recruitment budget also you need this particular information. So these are the 2 major implications of using this cost per hire employees. There are 2 facets of data analytics in HR are available. One is quality of data and then use of data. So quality of data is measured in terms of timeliness and then consistency and then integrity. So timeliness in the sense like is up to date and so on. If you have some old data, maybe 5 years old data, I don't think so you can make really good insights or you can bring more insights from the particular data. Practical implication is very less. Consistency, is the data consistent across the database? So this is also, reliability issue. This is also another issue. And then integrity, is the data correct? Whatever may be the data that is available in the database, whether all those informations are correct information or not. So that is the integrity component. So this is, these are the criteria how you can measure the quality of data. And then you have, next phase it, that is nothing but use of data. So what are the uses are available? So these are the different uses basically. So level 1, statistics and reporting. What happened? This is nothing but descriptive analytics. For example, how many employees left the company? What was the attrition level? What is the median salary at the call center? Reactive. So provide data when asked, proactive, build dashboards, analyze trends, conduct benchmarking. With the help of that, you can also make wonderful decision with respect to your human resource management process. And then level 2, under the use of data, so advanced diagnostic analytics also you can do. Why did it happen? So in the first level, you are trying to understand what was happened in the past. Now you are trying to understand why did it happen. And some of the questions which you can answer under this particular level of analysis is, why is my attrition so high? Why are some of my employees more productive? Why did some of my employees' performance decrease after we started subsidizing lunches? And then both internal and external data are actively used here. And then level 3 is, this is somewhat higher level, that is predictive analytics. What will happen? So what will happen in the near future? So some of the questions which you can answer here is, what will happen if I implement a new compensation model? How many employees will I need at our new location next year? So basically here, what sort of implication you are making is business performance data is heavily used in scenario planning and so on. And then the last level is prescriptive analytics. So what should I do? That prescription, doctor prescription. So what are the most effective ways for my organization to reduce attrition at location A? Which tools should I use to recruit 5,000 people next year? Automation of decision making on recruiting channel spend allocation. So all those things can be answered with the help of this level 4 analytics. That is nothing but prescriptive analytics. According to Gartner source, so they are also classifying the entire analytics into 4 components. One is descriptive analytics, and then diagnostic analytics, and then predictive, and then prescriptive analytics. And if you look at the human input, if you look at the human input requirement, in terms of performing different types of analytics here, for descriptive analytics, you need a lot of human input. Basically, you need to, put in some more effort in terms of thinking about the data, in terms of inferring the data. With respect to diagnostic effect, is you do require some more human input. With respect to predictive analytics, you require only minimum level of human input, because system will tell you what will happen in the near future. With respect to prescriptive analytics, you don't require any sort of human input, because automatically you can automate certain things. You can also automate certain things. That is what I'm trying to highlight here with the help of this particular picture. And again, one more difference here you could see between predictive and then prescriptive analytics is, here even no need to take any manual decision. Straight away you can go for the action. Straight away you can go for the implication of the result with respect to using prescriptive analytics. So these are all the different levels of analytics. And according to this paper is one of the recently published paper in International Journal of Information Management. So the title of the paper is Prescriptive Analytics Literature Review and Research Challenges. So here they have given a wonderful graph in terms of understanding different types of analytics and then the timeline. And if you see the descriptive analytics here, so basically we are trying to understand the even root causes. Basically we are trying to understand the causes of problems. And then after performing the descriptive analytics, we are trying to do the predictive analytics. Basically, we are trying to indicate the future events. Once the events were predicted or indicated, after that what we are trying to do is, we are trying to perform prescriptive analytics in terms of taking proactive actions, as well as in terms of implementing our proactive actions. Then after that, what is happening is, again we are going with descriptive analytics. Again we are going with descriptive analytics to locate new sort of problems. Again you are applying predictive, and then you are applying prescriptive analytics and so on. So this is what the cycle, basically. This is what the business value of analytics with respect to timeline. If you are in the initial stage of business, mainly you are depending on descriptive and then predictive analytics. And then after getting some maturity age or maybe maturity level, after that you are trying to do prescriptive analytics. Again, you are going with descriptive analytics only. So we can say that, like, whether prescriptive is superior one or predictive is superior one or descriptive is superior one. So depending upon the problem, you need to take a call whether I mean, depending upon your business context and then depending upon your problem, whether predictive analytics is going to help you in terms of solving the problem or prescriptive analytics is going to solve your problem. So there's a way how you can look at this particular picture. I think somebody's mic is on. Kindly mute your mic. If you want to discuss something, yeah, you are most welcome. They, yeah, Lakshmanag, Professor Lakshmanag, kindly mute your mic. I think you are using mobile phone and you are traveling. Professor Lakshmanag, our admin can mute Professor Lakshmanag. Anyway, that's fine. Yeah, let me continue.
You can continue, sir. No problem.
Yeah. So right now, I'm teaching this course for my MBA Business Analytics students. So this is what I'm covering basically, part of my, HR Analytics course. If you look at the, statistical models, different statistical models which I'm using part of my course. So left hand side, I just kept some of the statistical models and then associated HR analytics concepts. So for example, for basic visualization of the data, I'm using descriptive statistics and then I'm using correlation analysis in terms of understanding the relationship among background factors and employee outcomes. I'm also doing regression analysis in terms of prediction of employee performance, and I'm applying logistic regression or decision tree model in terms of performing attrition modeling, that is attrition prediction. And I used to do apply latent profile analysis. Now I'm going to demonstrate this in terms of profiling the people based on their employee engagement score. So this I'm labeling it as employee engagement segmentation and profiling. And then conjoint analysis. Conjoint analysis I'm using under the HR analytics in terms of understanding the employee recruitment as well as preference analysis. And the factor analysis I'm using in terms of analyzing the HR surveys. And the SEM also I'm using in terms of performing behavioral modeling. Even I'm using mediation and then moderation analysis in terms of understanding the mediational relationship among the constructs as well as moderational relationship among the constructs. So these are the things I'm trying to cover part of my HR analytics course. And I use Python for running this factor analysis, and almost for rest of the things I'm using R programming. In some cases, I use SPSS also. So these are the three softwares mainly I'm using in terms of covering almost all of the topics which I've mentioned here. And if you look at some of the prescriptive analytics techniques, predictive and then prescriptive analytics techniques, this is one of the example paper, recently published paper. So according to this paper, so they are classifying the predictive analytics techniques into three umbrellas. One is probabilistic models, and then machine learning model, and then statistical analysis approaches. So under the statistical analysis approaches, you have some of the techniques like linear regression, multiple linear regression, rank regression, and then ARIMA model, logistic regression, multinomial logistic regression, density estimation, support vector regression, and so on. So these are the techniques that is coming into predictive umbrella under the statistical analysis approach. And under the data mining approach, you do have some more techniques. The techniques are nothing but pattern recognition, random forest, Gaussian process, conditional inference tree, support vector machine, ensemble learning, artificial neural network, random search, decision tree, clustering based heuristic, k nearest neighbor algorithm, and then kernel method, multi-layer perceptron. This is also related to neural network, and then gradient boosted tree. With respect to probabilistic models, you have Bayesian network, Markov chain, Monte Carlo simulation, and then Hinton Markov model. So these are the techniques that is coming under predictive analytics umbrella under this three headings, under this three different headings. And with respect to prescriptive analytics, they are classifying the entire prescriptive analytics into totally 6 umbrellas. One is probabilistic models, machine learning, mathematical models, evolutionary computation, simulation, and then logic-based models. And if you look at some of the probabilistic based models are like Markov decision process, hidden Markov model, Markov chain. So these are the techniques that is again coming under prescriptive analytics umbrella. And then with respect to machine learning and data mining approaches, you have k-means clustering, reinforcement learning, privacy preservation, and then Boltzmann machine, and then Nadaraya Watson estimator, and then artificial neural networks and so on. So these are the techniques that is coming under data mining approach or machine learning umbrella. And then with respect to mathematical programming approaches, you have mixed integer program, linear program, binary quadratic program, nonlinear program, binary linear integer program, stochastic optimization, conditional stochastic optimization, constrained Bayesian optimization, fuzzy linear optimization, robust and adaptive optimization, dynamic programming, and then optimal search path goal programming, and so on. So these are the techniques that is coming under mathematical approach. And then under the evolutionary computation umbrella, you have genetic algorithm, evolutionary optimization, DT algorithm, particle swarm optimization, so on. So these are the some of the techniques that is coming under evolutionary computation umbrella. Under the simulation umbrella, you have simulation over random forest, risk assessment, stochastic simulation, and then what if scenarios analysis, and so on. And then with respect to logic based models, you have association rules, decision rules, criteria based rules, fuzzy rules, distributed rules, benchmark rules, desirability function, graph based recommendations, and then 5W1H, and so on. So these are the some of the techniques that is coming under prescriptive analytics umbrella. So we can offer a specialized certificate program on prescriptive analytics, and these are all the 6 different modules that can go under prescriptive analytics. And yes, you require a lot of mathematical understanding in terms of understanding all those techniques. Now we'll have some practical example related to using latent profile analysis in terms of profiling the employees using work engagement score. So before that, if you have any questions related to whatever I have discussed so far, please let me know. So what I have done here is I just gave some example to understand what is HR analytics, and then where and all you can apply different types of techniques, and then the 2 phases of analytics basically, that is uses of data and then levels of analytics. So this is what I have covered so far. If you have any questions related to understanding what is HR analytics, please let me know. Any questions?
Participants, if you have any doubts related to HR analytics, please post your queries in chat box. If your network is good and excellent, then you can unmute yourself and ask the resource person.
Yeah, any questions? You can also come to the live chat. Anything is fine with me. If there are no questions, I'll move on to the next part. Will it be the same with all organizations or any changes? With respect to applying the analytics, you are asking Professor Sanjeev Kumar. Can you come to the live chat? Can you elaborate your question?
So good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir.
So my question is like, so whatever you said, the metrics or techniques which are used to define that metrics.
Yeah.
Will it be the same for all organizations, or organizations choose their own methods?
Yeah, good question, sir. Fantastic question. So with respect to metrics, there are some standard metrics are available, but depending upon your needs and requirement, you yourself can create your own metrics. You yourself can create your own metrics. That is possible. For example, let us assume that you are trying to create a metric in terms of measuring their absenteeism rate. So because you want to quantify the absenteeism rate, simply you can create a metric in terms of quantifying the absenteeism rate per day, or maybe per month. It can be anything. So a lot more examples are available under the HR metrics umbrella. Similarly, you can also quantify something about like return on investment with respect to the training program which you have offered to your employees. So depending upon the context, depending upon the training program nature, you can also quantify the metric in terms of like a number of years or maybe number of months required to retrieve the invested amount from the employees. So I mean, depending upon your needs and requirement, you yourself can create your own metric. That is possible.
I'll just
So,
keep my question more elaborate, sir.
yeah,
Of my observation, what I found that every company is telling that we are predominantly using such application for doing all these metrics.
yeah,
But from the employee side, 60% of the employees, they're not handling the prescribed metrics in the organizations, but they're going with Excel, advanced Excel only. So
okay.
will it be true, or compulsory the organization is insisting the employees to go with the prescribed one? What is the
No,
truth?
no. Basically, what I'm saying is this metrics and then analytics, everything is done at the higher level. I mean, one who is managing the entire human resource management department, basically. So nothing to do with the employees, because at the HR department only they are trying to do. I mean, they are trying to create all those metrics. But I mean, with the knowledge of employees or without the knowledge of employees, they are trying to quantify certain things and they are maintaining everything in their records. Basically, this is what happening. And depending upon their needs and requirement, they themselves can create their own metrics, or they can follow the standard literature evidences in terms of using some other metrics. That is possible. So I can also show you that SHRM document. Just a minute. If you go to SHRM site, so here you have this metrics. If you go through this PDF file, so there are close to 35 or 40 metrics are available here. And in different HR analytics textbooks, they are also talking about different types of metrics beyond this. I mean, HR metrics populated here. But for my course, I'm following this particular HR metrics basically. For example, even you can also do the return analysis by using break-even point. So in what way this BEP analysis is applied in HR? Basically, whatever may be the trainings or whatever may be the HR program which you have implemented among your employees, there you are trying to understand like how many years or how many months it will require in terms of retrieving the invested amount. So in that context only you are trying to use this BEP analysis. But usually this BEP analysis is used in terms of making the investment decision. The same logic only applied here also.
Yes.
Makes sense? Yeah.
But my question is, sir, actually you told that predictive analysis depends on descriptive analysis.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Parallelly also you can do.
Generally to speak.
Yeah, this HR metric data, metric data can go as a input for performing predictive analytics related to metric prediction.
My question again here is like descriptive analysis always maintained by the lower level employees. They are not well handy with the advanced HR metrics and all these applications.
Yeah, very true, sir. Practically speaking, the knowledge level of the HR as well as the utilization of HR analytics concepts in most of the organizations are still in the nation, I mean, stage only. The reason is most of the HR, you just look at the profile of HR and then their qualification. Most of them are having PG qualification or PG diploma on human resource management. Yes. And if you go and talk to them, I don't know, I mean, anybody is coming from HR background. I mean, this is the truth actually.
Yes.
I mean, I'm saying this truth based on the interaction which I had with some of the top class MNCs in Hyderabad. I mean, Hyderabad city. So based on that experience and based on that knowledge only, I'm sharing this. Most of the human resource managers are not having any awareness about inferring some of the statistical outputs that is coming from any of the predictive or prescriptive analytics.
Exactly.
They have, I mean, they could not able to understand even what is correlation regression also. So this is the level of knowledge they are having. Now, in most of the organization, what they are doing is, for example, I mean, some of the top class MNCs, wherever they do consultancies. So in consultancy division, they do have a analytics division. So that particular analytics division is doing the analytics for their entire organization, basically. So this is one aspect of doing the analytics. In other cases, wherever they don't have the consultancy team or consultancy business division, they are approaching other professors or maybe they are approaching other analytics firms to perform certain analytics. And in most of the cases, almost out of 100 companies, whoever is going for HR analytics, almost 80 to 90% of the people are doing attrition modeling because mainly they are concerned about their attrition level. And for that reason only they are going for attrition modeling basically to reduce their attrition rate. So this is what happening most of the companies in India. But if you look at some of the, Western companies and so on, that they have a lot of collaboration with the academicians, and even they are using some of the prescriptive analytics and
Yes.
analytics in terms of managing certain things. I can also show you one of the example from one of the MIT professor where they have applied prescriptive analytics for one of the industry in USA. I can also show you the paper. So this is one of the recently published paper, Prescriptive Analytics for Human Resource Planning in the Professional Services Industry. And the authors are from, MIT, I think. Let me see the author details. So yeah, they're from Sloan School of Management, MIT. Both of them are from MIT. And if you look at this particular paper, here they did some prescriptive analytics. They have applied something called robust optimization approach in terms of planning the human resource requirement, basically. Because it's the project which was done is against one of the consultancy firm. Because in consultancy firm, depending upon the project only, they are going to recruit the manpower. So there are cases where in some, in most of the cases, the bench level of the company is very high. Basically, the bench rate is very high. To reduce this bench rate, how best you can do the recruitment process. For that reason, they have applied this particular robust optimization technique in terms of making certain planning for human resource requirement. So this is one of the best example. This is being done in the context of US. But in India also, probably there could be one or two examples, but we are not having any evidences in the literature, basically. This is one of the example. Like even up to the level of prescriptive analytics, something is happening in HR. That is the point I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, thank you very much for the detailed explanation, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, any other questions? Yeah, there are no more questions in the chat window. Fine. Now, let me introduce this latent profile analysis concept. Okay, before I getting into this area, I just want to hear something from the participants. Did you heard about this concept called latent profile analysis before coming to this session? Did you heard about this concept latent profile analysis? Any idea? No response. You can post it in the chat window. You can say yes or no. Anything is fine. At least one or two responses. Did you heard about this concept called latent profile analysis? No, no, no. I got two no's so far. Yeah, any other no's or yes? Nothing. Okay. So this latent profile analysis is one of the, technique that is coming under the umbrella called mixture modeling approach. Any idea about mixture modeling? So there is an approach called a whole lot of techniques are coming under mixture modeling umbrella. Mainly wherever your objective or research question is something related to identifying the heterogeneity in the data. Identifying the heterogeneity in the data, there you can apply this particular concept called latent profile analysis or latent class analysis or latent transition analysis and so on. These are some of the techniques are widely used techniques that is coming under the heterogeneity umbrella. So this technique, LPA, latent profile analysis, is somewhat similar to your cluster analysis. Somewhat similar to your cluster analysis, because most of the workshops people used to cover cluster analysis. But hardly. I don't think so. In India, something is happening with respect to this latent profile analysis. This is, much superior than using some of the cluster analysis approaches. So that's the reason I thought of introducing this particular technique part of this particular session. And if you look at this particular image, the image which I have kept it here, from the perspective of fruits, you can refer the entire, set of items available in this basket as a fruits, basically, and highly homogeneous. From the perspective of fruits, it's highly homogeneous. But from the perspective of size of the fruit, if you ask me a question, lot of heterogeneity is there. For example, if you look at the size of this watermelon, size of the watermelon with the orange or maybe grapes, I mean, you have a lot of differences. Basically, you have a lot of differences. So there is a heterogeneity. There is an, I mean, there is a heterogeneity here in terms of, identifying the unobserved heterogeneity in this data. Identifying the unobserved heterogeneity in this data. So unobserved heterogeneity is nothing but, so some sort of heterogeneity is existing in your data without your knowledge. Actually, that particular heterogeneity is causing some issue in terms of running your regression or maybe in terms of running your further analysis. It can be any sort of analysis, whether it is predictive or prescriptive and so on. Basically, it's always better to identify the unobserved heterogeneity factor in your data. Then after that, you can do some analysis. But here, the context, I mean, this is from the statistical perspective. But from the HR analytics perspective, the reason why I'm bringing this particular example here is basically I'm trying to profile my employees. I'm trying to profile my employees with the help of their employee engagement score. With the help of their employee engagement score. For example, in marketing context, marketing professors might have taught something about market segmentation, right? So in market segmentation, so one of the most widely applied technique is cluster analysis. But now people are using latent profile as well as latent class analysis in terms of doing the market segmentation also. But in India, yes, very less awareness is available in terms of, because whatever maybe the textbooks, we have been using part of our studies, none of the textbooks are having this particular approach. So that's the reason why we are having, very less awareness among the people. So at least now I'll try to create some awareness about this technique. So now try to understand why employee profiling or segmentation. Basically, the profiling or maybe employee segmentation is highly useful in terms of segmenting the people based on their work engagement level, like highly engaged versus low engaged. Even if you have the satisfaction score, you can also classify them into two categories, like low satisfaction versus high satisfaction, low performance versus high performance, low commitment versus high commitment. And then you can also create personality profiles. The reason why we are trying to create personality profiles here is, with the help of the personality profiles, you can also identify the individuals, those who are having really good level of commitment pattern, or maybe those who are having good level of working pattern. So in the future recruitment process also, you can identify those kind of profiles, those kind of personality people in terms of recruiting the people for your organization. So for that reason, you can also do this personality profiles. And employee profiles based on the demographic information, that is also possible. And any other profiling using continuous or interval based data can be done with the help of this latent profile analysis. Now try to understand what is LPA. So in simple sense, latent profile models are commonly attributed to this particular citation, that is Lazarfield and Henry 1968. This is very old technique only, it's not very new. Like K-means and hierarchical clustering technique, the final number of latent classes is not usually predetermined prior to analysis with latent class models. Suppose if you are using cluster analysis, if you have some background idea or knowledge about cluster analysis, you might be knowing that first you are going with the hierarchical clustering. Then after that, you are doing the K-means clustering. In K-means clustering, you are fixing that I need 3 cluster solution or 4 cluster solution and so on. So this is a way how you are trying to do the clustering. But whereas here in LPA, we are not fixing the, we are not predetermining the number of class solution or number of cluster solution. So here the number of classes is determined through comparison of posterior fit statistic, and the characteristics of each class is also determined following the analysis. As it was originally conceived, LPA is an analysis that uses a set of continuous metric values allowed to range anywhere on the real number. Like examples include like age of the employee between 1 year to 100 years, or the satisfaction level between 1 to 10 or 1 to 100 and so on. It can be anything. Any kind of numbers can be included in the analysis. And the number of classes, that is an integer ranging from 2 through n number of solution, must be specified prior to analysis. But system will give you the final solution, like stating that which cluster solution or which class solution is giving better fit to the data. So based on that logic only, we are trying to understand this latent class analysis. And for more details, you can refer this particular textbook, that is Latent Structure Analysis by Lasserfield and Henry. So with the help of this particular book, textbook, you can understand something more about latent class and then latent profile analysis and so on. And some more explanation. And LPA process, for a specified number of classes, LPA attempts to, for each class, estimate the statistical likelihood of each variable, and then it estimates the probability that each observation falls into each class. And for each observation, the sum of these probabilities across classes equals 1. And this is different from k-means, where an observation is a member of a class with certainty. And across all observations, estimate the probability that any observation falls into a class and so on. And estimation in LP is more complicated because in agglomerative hierarchical clustering, a such process was used with distance matrices being created for each step. So basically, the core algorithm used in cluster analysis is distance matrix. Your Euclidean distance matrix or your squared Euclidean distance matrix. So with the help of that logic only, you are trying to identify the distance between the data, basically, or distance between the subjects based on certain features. And in K-means used more of a brute force approach, trying multiple starting points. And both methods relied on distance matrix to find clustering solutions. Whereas in LPA, estimation uses distributional assumptions to find classes. So one of the greatest advantage of using this LPA analysis or LPA estimation procedure is, for example, you have a data, and one of the distribution is having this sort of pattern, and then another distribution is having this sort of pattern. So basically, this distribution is referred as class 1, and then this distribution is referred as class 2. So based on the distribution of the data, you are trying to determine the class solution or cluster solution. But this is not, in cluster analysis, what you are trying to do is, based on the distance between your subjects, you are trying to find out the cluster solution, basically. So that's the core difference between LPA as well as cluster analysis. And the distributional assumptions provide the measure of distance in LPA. Basically, a slightly modified version of your normal distribution algorithm is nothing but LPA. So here is the LPA model, basically. This is what the core algorithm used in LPA. So using some notation of Bartholom and not citation, a latent profile model for the response vector of p variables, that is I equal to 1 comma p with k classes j equal to 1 comma k is referred as function of xi equal to sum of eta pi 1 by 1 divided by square root of 2 pi sigma square exponential of minus xi minus mu ij whole square divided by sigma square. So this is what the LPA function. And again, if you go back and look at your normal distribution function, that will also look like this, but slightly the finite mixture modeling or maybe mixture modeling approach is nothing but it's a slightly modified version of your Gaussian function or maybe normal distribution function. So here the theta is the probability that any individual is a member of class J must sum to 1, and xi is the observed response to variable I, and mu ij is the mean for variable I for an individual from class J, and sigma square ij is the variance for variable I for an individual from class J, and so on. So based on this data input only, we are trying to estimate the LPA model. And LPA versus alternative configural approaches. So this particular approach is referred as configural approaches or person-oriented approaches in the literature. So some of the other alternative configural approaches are your mean split, median split, cluster analysis. So these are the other configuration approaches related to LPA, that is similar to LPA, that is latent profile analysis. So one of the disadvantage of using mean split or median split is, suppose if you have some data, you will be able to get only 2 class solution, like low level of the score, and then high level of the score can be split into 2. So that's how the mean split or median split is happening. And you will be having only 2 labels, high and low. For example, let us assume that you have the performance appraisal score of the employees, and the data is ranged between 40 to 100. The data is ranged between 40 to 100, and you are using mean split, the mean value is coming as 60. The mean average performance score is coming as 60. So you are saying that 59 or 60 and less than 60 scores are referred as low performance, and 61 and above is considered as a high performance. Do you think that the person one who is having 59 or 60 as a score is considered as a low performance? Because the difference between low and high is only one score. Only 1 point. So, something is wrong here, right? So, these are all the limitations of using mean split or median split. The another limitation of using mean split and median split is it's sample specific, especially mean split is sample specific. And one more limitation of using mean split and median split is you are going to have only 2 class solution or 2 cluster solution. More than that, you will not be able to get it. But with the help of cluster analysis, yes, of course, you can have low performance and then moderate level of performance and then high level of performance. Even you can have 3 class solution by applying this cluster analysis. But there are some disadvantages using cluster. So however, with most cluster analysis approaches, the clusters are based on subjective distances between variables. That is, within cluster differences are minimized and between cluster differences are maximized rather than objective fit criteria. But whereas in LPA, we are using this objective fit criteria, like using AEC value, BEC value, and then entropy value. We are trying to say that which class solution is the best class solution for this particular data. So that is what objective fit criteria. As a result, it is often subject to judgment calls and therefore biased due to the lack of objective criteria used to determine the number and the nature of the clusters. And in the review of cluster analysis in strategic management research, this is one of the top class paper published in strategic management journal. They argue that in addition to being mostly subjective, cluster analysis is largely theoretical and therefore often produces groups that are not meaningful. In cluster analysis, you might be getting different groups, but in most of the cases, those groups are not practically viable groups. Basically, you may not be able to infer those groups also, group characteristics also. So these are the issues we may be getting, in terms of using some of the cluster analysis approaches. There are some more differences also available. And finally, LP is model-based one. It provides a profile membership variable, which may be used in other analysis. Like you can also perform ANOVA in terms of discriminating the profiles to determine if the profiles, of variables are associated with different levels of a dependent variable, like overall performance of the industry and so on. So that can be done, and then organizational commitment, predicting turnover intention and so on. That is possible, very much possible. And while LPA provides many advantages over cluster analysis, there are certain situations where cluster analysis may be useful. That is also there. So now we'll have some discussion about making profiles based on the work engagement data. So for this example purpose, I have used a work engagement scale. Based on this particular citation, that is Scuffley, Baker, Salonova 2006 citation. So based on this citation, I have used 17 items to measure work engagement. So according to this citation, work engagement is defined as a positive, fulfilling work-related state of mind that is characterized by vigor, dedication, and absorption. So in this slide, I have given the explanation to understand what is vigor, dedication, and then absorption. So now what I'm going to do is I have the scores in my data set for vigor, dedication, and absorption. Now I'm going to make the profiles based on this scores. So this is what I'm going to do now. So before that, I just want to show you a paper, example paper where they have used, latent profile analysis. So this is one of the recently published paper in Human Resource Development Quarterly in the year of 2018, one of the top rated journal. And if you look at this paper, so based on the work to family conflict and then family to work conflict score, they did the analysis basically. And first stage is you need to perform the LPA and then you freeze the model. Then after that, you can also do some of the post-hoc analysis in terms of applying multinomial logistic regression against your profile solution. After that, you can also correlate some of the demographic variables with your DV. That is possible. So this is what the example paper. So here what they have done is they have used work family conflict and then work family family to work conflict items to create these profiles, and they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 profile solution. And this is what the result you will be getting. So based on these, I mean, objective criteria only, now we are going to freeze which class solution is the better solution, which class solution is the better solution. Based on the AEC, BEC, and then LMRT, and then BLRT, and then entropy value, one can freeze the, I mean, class solution. I mean, which class solution is fitting the model better way. That is what now we are going to do. So for this purpose, I mean, I have a data here. Let me show you the data. So there are about 17 items are available in my data. And this is what the data said. The data is available in Excel file format. And if you look at this data, this is nothing but the vigor average score. So vigor is measured using 6 items. And I took the average score for this vigor dimension. And then for dedication also, I have some average scores. And then for absorption also, I have some average score. And then you do have the overall employee engagement score. And then you have the sample number and then gender. So this is what the data I'm having. I have about 420 responses here. It's a survey-based data, basically. It's a survey-based data. So based on this data only, now I'm going to do the analysis. And to perform this analysis using R, you need to use a package called Tidy LPA. There is a package available in the literature called Tidy LPA. Let me show you. Tidy LPA is the package used for performing this latent profile analysis in R environment. So one of the wonderful software which is being widely used by the researchers are M+ software for running LPA as well as latent class analysis. But here I'm going to use Tidy LPA software. Now the first thing is I need to install this Tidy LPA package. Already have installed this Tidy LPA package. So what I'll do is now I'll activate this Tidy LPA. It's successfully done. Tidy LPA is being integrated with my R environment. So now I need to activate this read Excel function, and then I'm going to connect the data. So my data is available in this folder, analysis folder. So here is the data, e.xlsx. This is the data. So I just copy pasted the address here, and I'm also labeling this data as a EE data. I'm also labeling this data as a EE, that is employee engagement. So if you want to look at the data, you can use this view function. Now, if you look at the data, so here, you have the same information like sample number, gender, and then vigor score, dedication score, absorption score, and so on. So based on these 3 scores only, now we are going to create the profile solution basically. And I also required deep layer as far as M cluster package. This M cluster package is also another package. So in M plus environment, you can also run this LPA with the help of this M cluster solution. That is also possible. So now this is the syntax basically. This is the syntax used to create the profile solution. So you need to run 2 class solution, 3 class solution, 4 class solution, 5 class solution, 6 class solution, 7 class solution. Up to 7 or 8 class solution you can go. Then after that, you need to refer the AEC value, BEC value, entropy value, and then LMRT value, BLRT value to freeze the better solution, for your data. So now I'm doing this analysis. Here I'm using this syntax to perform the 2 class solution. And here I have integrated my variable information. And here I'm asking the system to perform 2 class solution. And if you look at the model fit values, this is what the model fit values I'm getting. Once again, I'm showing. So now what I can do is I can copy this values and then I can open a Excel file. There I can paste it. I'll also convert this text into columns. So now I have the values like model number, classes 2, AAC, BEC, entropy, and then probability of minimum, probability maximum, and then BLRT, that is bootstrap based LRT test value. I'll tell you something more about how to infer these values. Please wait for some time. Now let me run the 2 class solution. Now let me run the 2-class solution. Sorry, 3-class solution. So here is my 3-class solution. I'll copy this. I'll go to the Excel file. I'll paste it here, and then I'll convert this text into columns. After that, I'll copy these values, and then I'll go back here, and then I'll paste it here. This is for the class 3 solution. Now I'll run the 4-class solution. Yeah, I got the results. I'll copy this, and then I'll go back to Excel. I'll convert this into columns. I'll also copy this class solution, and then I'll go back to the sheet 1, and then I'll paste it here. This is for 4-class solution. I think some issue here, just a minute. Fix 2 columns. This is for class 4 solution. And then now I'll run the class 5 solution. And then I'll copy this back to sheet 2. I'll paste this value, text to columns. Yeah, now I can copy this sheet 1. This is for the 5-class solution. And then I'll copy the 6-class solution result. Now let me run 6-class solution. I mean, if you are new to LPA, you will not be able to understand anything out of this explanation. But if you further read some of the, example paper references, probably you can understand something more about this. Yeah, next finish. This is for the 6-class solution. I'll run 7-class solution also. I mean, it's very simple to run the analysis in R because you have the codes, everything in the tidy LPA and material. Yeah. Now, if you look at this values, so how to infer the values? So according to literature, wherever you have the lower AIC value, BAC value, that model can be considered as a better model basically. And if you look at the AIC values here, which class solution is having the lowest value? Any idea? Which class solution is having the lowest value? According to the AIC values, so the 7-class solution is having the lowest value. Let me mark this. And with respect to BAC values, which class solution is having the lowest value? Any idea? 5-class solution? Correct? No response. And then with respect to entropy, which entropy value is higher? 5-class solution. And then with respect to, BLRT p-value, up to which model you have the significant value, basically significant p-value. These are all nothing but significant p-values basically. And up to 5th model, you are getting significant p-value basically. So here the conclusion is, so wherever you have higher entropy value, that particular model can be considered as a better model. That particular model can be considered as a better model. And according to this BLRT value also, wherever you have significant p-value, up to that model only you can consider the solution. And according to this AEC value, but if you look at the AEC values, this is the lowest value, but beyond this 5th model, if you're going beyond the 5-class solution, there is no point in going, because up to some level your entropy value is increasing. Up to 5th class solution, your entropy value is increasing. After that, it is decreasing actually. In fact, I can also freeze this 4-class solution as a better class solution, because here the entropy value is slightly higher. At the same time, again, if you look at the AAC, BAC value, then after that it is also getting increased basically. So now according to this BAC value, and then this entropy value, and then this BLRTP value, I can freeze 5-class solution as a best solution for this analysis. If you look at this particular example reference paper, the way how they have freezed their solution as a best solution, I'll give the explanation. Let me show you the explanation. See, with regard to the LPA, Akeke information criterion, Bayesian information criterion, sample size adjusted BAC, low Mendel-Rubin adjusted likelihood ratio test, and then the bootstrap likelihood ratio test, and entropy were used to determine the number of latent profiles. According to the literature, the lower the value of AAC, BAC, AABAC, the better fit of the model. LMR, LRT and BLRT compare chi-square differences between a model with K profiles and a model with K-1. If the P values of LMR, LRT and BLRT are significant, the K model is interpreted as more suitable. Otherwise, the K-1 model is supported. Entropy values ranging from 0 to 1 indicate the classification error of a model. The closer the value is to 1, the smaller the classification error of the model. So higher the entropy is better. And according to this particular data, they have freezed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-class solution as a best solution. And if you look at the AAC value for the 5th class solution, so they have the lowest value comparing the previous AAC values. And then again here also they have the lowest values comparing the previous BAC values. And then if you look at the ABAC also same thing. And if you look at the entropy, here they have the higher entropy. And after this model, after this 5th model, the LMR LRT value is producing insignificant p-value, which means that this particular 6th model is not being considered in terms of freezing 6th class, model 6 as a better fit to the data. So that's the reason here they are freezing this 5th class solution, that is model 5 as a better model for this particular example. So like that, if you refer more paper, you may get better understanding related to this aspect. Now what I can do is, I can also export this 5-class solution to my Excel file. Then after that, I can also do some more analysis. I'll show you how to perform that. For example, I'm freezing 5-class solution as a better solution, right? So here I'm using this write function to export the data. So if you go to the analysis folder, so here I have the exported output. So this is what the data set. Okay, let me open it through R. The same data, the exported data only, here also I'm going to import it to my R environment. So this is what the exported information. So here you have the class number and then your observed variables, observed score for vigor, dedication, absorption. And then you have the conditional probability value for class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5. And if you sum this all the 5 class solutions into, if you take the sum, you will get 1 as a result basically. And in the final column, you have the membership function. For example, this person is coming under class 3. The second person is coming under class 3. Third person is coming under class 1. Fourth person is coming under class 3. Fifth person is coming under class 5, and so on. So this is the way how you can create the profiles based on this LPA analysis. Then after that, you can also compute the mean values for each and every classes. Then after that, you can also, understand something more about. You can also understand something more about like the kind of pattern you are getting here. You can also do one more thing. Let me show you that. You can also plot the class 5 solution, and you will be able to get a plot something similar to this. You'll be able to get a plot something similar to this. So basically, this red color is referring the class 1, and then light blue color is referring the class 2 solution. Green color is referring the class 3 solution. Violet color is referring the class 4 solution, and then orange color is referring the class 5 solution. So by the look of it, if they have high level of vigor, high level of dedication, and then high level of absorption, they can be referred as a class 5 solution. And I can give you a label like high level of vigor, dedication, absorption candidates. Something like that I can give you a profile, or I can also name them. And then the next one is green color. This is nothing but class 3. They have slightly higher level of vigor, dedication, absorption, but not, less than the 5th class solution basically. So this is the way how you can label the profiles basically. And this violet color is low level of vigor, low level of dedication, and then low level of absorption. So this is the way how you can profile the people. Then once you are done with the profiling process, next what you can do is, you can also connect some of the demographic factors and then other variables with class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5 membership. And then you can run a multinomial logistic regression. There you will be able to get whether some of the variables are significantly associated with your profile solution and so on. That can be done. For example, here they did a ANOVA test by linking work-family conflict, family-to-work conflict, job satisfaction, organizational citizenship behavior, turnover intention, and then EX exertion, emotional exertion with profile 1, profile 2, profile 3, profile 4, profile 5. And then they found some interesting results, and they also reported all those components here. So this is a way how one can run the LP analysis. And in this example, this is a way how they have labeled their profile basically. This profile 1 is labeled as, this particular profile is labeled as low work-family conflict with low family-to-work conflict. There are about 87 participants are coming under this particular class solution. So the same logic only here also we are getting. So this is what LPA, due to lack of time, I could not able to cover much, but whatever I thought of covering part of the session, I have successfully covered everything. So beyond this, if you have any doubts related to this LPA analysis, let me know. I'll try to answer your questions. And if you need more details about me, you can visit my site. And here I have shared some of the resources related to data analysis. You can also watch some of my videos, as well as you can also participate in some of my current happenings. That is possible. Yeah, any questions? I know that I'm very fast. I'm very fast because I didn't have enough time to cover everything. So that's the reason I'm a little fast. Yeah, any questions? There are many more. There are plenty of examples are available in the literature in terms of understanding. Latent profile analysis. You can simply type latent profile analysis in Google Scholar. You can get a lot more papers actually in HR context. Any questions? Any questions? I don't know whether people are attending the session or not, because no response, nothing is coming. I hope this program is a free program, right? That's the problem with free program.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Attending, sir.
Srinivas sir is saying no. Sir, when we talk about HR analytics tools in management subjects, yeah, please elaborate your question, sir. Sunil Kumar, what you are trying to ask?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, up to now, I listened a total concept, sir.
Okay.
In MBA, we applied to JNTUA. My college is with Kavali, PVR with Kavali.
Sir, your voice is not clear, sir. Can you keep your mic a little closer to your mouth so that I can hear your voice properly?
I am working assistant professor with Kavali, sir.
Okay.
Sir, actually, it is applied to JNTUA, our college.
Okay.
Sir, in MBA, we have 4 subject objectives, actually, sir.
Okay.
Sir, in that, some systems specializing subject objects, sir.
Sorry, sir. Come again. In that subject.
Some specializing subject.
Sir, I can't hear you, sir, properly.
That's what it is. I will post the question in chat box, sir.
Yeah, better, sir. Better. When we talk about HR analytic tools in management subjects, so after that, something is missing. You please elaborate your question, sir. Yeah, any other questions? Any other questions? If there are no questions, I think let me answer Sunil Kumar sir question. After that, we can wind up the session. Nothing is coming means there are two conclusions. One is nothing we got out of the session, or we understood everything.
Sir, actually, Kanyadara madam raised her hand.
Yeah.
She had any question?
Yeah, Shashanka, yeah. Can you unmute yourself and then you can talk, ma'am?
Sir, actually, I raised it regarding that I am listening to the session you were asking.
Oh, okay. Fine. No, I'm just joking, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Fine. Yeah, any other questions? If there are no questions, I think we can wind up the session. Still, if you have any questions, you can reach me through WhatsApp or phone. I'm just typing my mobile number. So I have only one mobile number. First, you can send me a WhatsApp message. Then after that, if something is required, then we can, talk over phone. Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, that's it, ma'am.
Yes.
I think I took extra 10 minutes. Sorry for that.
So I would like to take privilege to say thanks on behalf of JNTUA School of Management Studies for delivering lecture on HR analytics. Really, it was a wonderful session on HR analytics, and the way that you presented the analysis part related to the human resource management is really fantastic. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for being here and delivering your valuable insights and experiences and sharing your experiences with all the faculty of various institutions and colleges. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks to Varalakshmi ma'am and JNTU Anandpur team in terms of managing this workshop, as well as inviting me to share some, something related to HR analytics. So thank you. Thanks to all the participants, because I had really wonderful session here. I hope so. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm leaving the session, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Participants, please take a break of 10 minutes. So we'll again join the same link by 4 o'clock. The next session will going to be handled by Dr. Airala Lokaran Reddy, sir. on financial analytics. So please rejoin sharply by 4 o'clock. And attendance link will be shared at the end of the session, sir.
Madam, hello?
Yeah, yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir, Sunil, sir.
Madam, your voice is breaking, madam, and it's coming rebound, madam.
Sir, one second, sir. Actually, continuously we are operating beside two systems. So that's why echo is coming. So no problem. By next session we will rectify it, sir.
Thank you. Just I am telling, madam.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you for your concern, sir. We will take care. Thank you, sir.